Have you ever wondered why a Cisco switch has different port types? Why does one port connected to a PC while another connect to another switch? And what exactly is the difference between an access port and a trunk port? If you are just starting your networking journey, this is one of the most important concepts you need to understand. In this video, I will explain everything from scratch. In this chapter, we will talk about access port, trunk port, VLAN tagging, and the comparison between the access port and trunk port. So let's get started. Welcome to CCNA 200-301, Implementing and Administering Cisco Solution, Chapter number 68, Access Port versus Trunk Port, Explained. Learn CCNA with Irash Academy. I have placed the complete CCNA playlist on the I button at the top right corner of the video. So why do we need access and trunk ports? Let's imagine a company with three departments, which are HR, Finance, and IT. For security reason, we don't want all employees to be in the same network. So we create three VLANs, which are VLAN 10 for HR, VLAN 20 for Finance, and VLAN 30 for IT. Now here is the question. How do we connect employees to their own VLAN? And if we have multiple switches, how do we carry all these VLANs between these switches? This is exactly where access port and trunk port come into the picture. Access port used to connect the end devices like PC, laptop, printer, servers, etc. On the other hand, trunk port used to connect networking devices like switches, routers, and firewall, who is carrying multiple VLAN. Now let's understand each other. Now let's see how VLANs work. What is the concept of VLAN? VLAN stands for Virtual Local Area Network, and its concept is divide a physical local area network into multiple logical area network. It is exactly same like you convert one network into multiple logical network. And why do we need to do that? It is for the networking security. There are multiple benefits for doing that. One is to improve the networking security. Second one, reduce the broadcast domain. Third one is to save the cost. These are the main advantages of using VLAN. So let's see how the VLAN actually work. So if you see in the picture, you can see one network switch with a multiple computer. Just imagine the switch is a brand new. So by default in a brand new switch, there will be one VLAN, which is called VLAN 1, and it is also called default VLAN. That means each interfaces of that switch are part of the VLAN 1, the default VLAN. That means any devices connected to all these network port can communicate together because they are part of the same physical network. There is no separation or isolation between them. Now by using the concept of VLAN, we can divide this single physical LAN into multiple logical VLAN, which is called the virtual VLAN. And how do we do that? The concept is simple. For example, the port number 1, which is connected the PC1, okay? This is the port number 1. The port number 1, so initially the PC1 connected to port number 1 is part of the VLAN 1. If we create a new VLAN, which is called VLAN 10, then assign this port number 1 into that VLAN 10. What will happen? It will create a new VLAN which is totally isolated from the default VLAN, VLAN 1. So this PC1 will be part of a different network. And from that time onward, the PC1 will not be able to communicate with the PC2, PC3, PC4 and PC5. But on the other hand, all other PC, PC2, PC3, PC4 and PC5 are still part of the same VLAN, which is VLAN 1. They can communicate together. Now we are going to the port number 2, which is the PC2 is connected. We are going to add this interface into VLAN 20. Then what will happen? The PC2 will be out of the VLAN 1. So it will lose the membership and tie up with the PC3, PC4 and PC5. PC2 will be totally in a different VLAN. So in this situation, the PC3, PC4 and PC5 still they are able to communicate together because they are part of the VLAN 1, the same VLAN. But PC1 won't be able to communicate with any other PC because they are isolated and restricted to only VLAN 10. Same situation for PC2 also. They are part of VLAN 20 and they are isolated from other VLAN. Now, the PC1 and PC2, can they communicate together? No, because they are totally isolated and included in a different VLAN. So this is how the VLAN work in Cisco switches. Okay, so now we only talk about a single switch. What if there are multiple switch in an organization? Let's bring another switch. So in the new switch also there are many PCs are connected and the PC6, we want to make it in VLAN 10, that is the HR VLAN. So we'll make it here VLAN 10. And PC7, we want to make it in Finance VLAN, which is VLAN 20. Now as you see here, the PC1 is part of HR VLAN, which is VLAN 10. At the same time, in the same company, on another switch, we have another device which is called PC6, which is also part of HR VLAN, which is VLAN 10. Now the question is, can the PC1 can communicate with the PC6? Because the PC1 is in a different switch and the PC6 is on a different switch. So can we make them communicate together? Can we make the connectivity between the VLAN 10 from the switch number 1 to the VLAN 10 from the switch number 2? The answer is yes. The same VLAN traffic we can move from one switch to another switch. It is possible. So what you need to do to make this connectivity? To make this connectivity, you need to first create a connection between these two switches. Now as you see in the picture, I created one connection between the switch 1 and the switch 2. Okay, so if you just connect one cable in between switch 1 and switch 2, can the VLAN 10 from this switch 1 can communicate the VLAN 10 in the switch 2? No. What you need to do for that? So if you look at here, you can see the PC1 is connected to port number 1, which is in VLAN 10. And the PC6 is connected to port number 4, which is also in VLAN 10. But see the interconnected interface, this interface. In which VLAN this interface is? The answer is the default VLAN, the VLAN 1, because we didn't add this interface into the VLAN 10. So basically it will take the default VLAN, which is VLAN 1. So this interface, which is a part of VLAN 1, can VLAN 1 communicate to the VLAN 10? As per the VLAN concept, at this moment, no, because they are entirely different VLAN. So what we need to do to make this PC1 and PC6 to communicate together? The answer is this interface, which we use for the interconnection, we need to move that interface into the same VLAN, which is the VLAN 10. So this interface we need to convert into VLAN 10. This interface we need to convert into VLAN 10. So the port number 1 where the PC1 is connected, the port number 4 where this PC6 is connected, and this interface for the interconnection and this interface for the interconnection are part of the same VLAN. So they can all communicate together. And by doing that, the PC1 can directly communicate with the PC6 because there is an interconnection going in between these two switches. Okay, now what you need to do if PC2 want to communicate with the PC7. As you can see, the PC2 is in VLAN 20. PC7 is also in VLAN 20. So what you need to do if they want to communicate together? Can they communicate through the same interface which is currently interconnected in between switch 1 and switch 2? No, because this interface is part of VLAN 10. But PC2 and PC7 are part of VLAN 20. So they cannot communicate together. So what you need to do here? So just bring another interconnection between the switch 1 and switch 2. Then configure this interface in VLAN 20 and configure this interface at the switch number 2 to VLAN 20. Now what will happen? The PC2 is under VLAN 20. The PC7 is also under VLAN 20 and these interfaces are part of the VLAN 20. And by doing that, the PC2 is able to communicate with the PC7 because they are all part of the same VLAN. Now let's go to the PC3, which is in IT VLAN. Okay, and PC8 is also IT VLAN. So we will configure the port number 3 to VLAN 30 and we will configure the port number 6 to VLAN 30. Now how do you make the connectivity between PC3 and PC8? It is simple. Just bring another interconnection between the switch 1 and switch 2. Then configure this interface to VLAN 30 and configure this interface to VLAN 30. So the PC3, PC8 and these interconnected interfaces are at the same VLAN, which is VLAN 30. So the PC3 can directly communicate to PC8 without any problem. So this is the basic concept of VLAN, how the VLAN is working. Now let's analyze this scenario and understand, is there any problem with this kind of approach? The answer is yes. Because in this kind of approach, for every VLAN, for each VLAN, you need to create a separate interconnection in between the switch. For example, if you have 10 VLAN in one switch, if you want to connect that 10 VLAN to another 10 VLAN in the same number on the another switch, then you need to create 10 interconnection between these two switches. So here you are losing the interfaces of your switches because you need another 10 interfaces for each 10 VLAN and another 10 cable connection. So this is increasing the cost and it is not efficient at all. So what we can do to avoid this kind of problem? Is there any better solution to overcome this situation? The answer is yes. And what is that? What if I am able to replace all this interconnection into a single interconnection, a single cable, a single connection in between these two switches, and that single connection can carry all the VLAN from one switch to another switch. Right now at this scenario, the interconnection 1 is used to carry VLAN 10, the second one is used to carry VLAN 20, and the third one used to carry VLAN 30. So instead of doing that thing, I will have a single connection between two switches, and the same connection can carry all the VLAN together. It can carry multiple VLAN, and this is the one of the best concept in the VLAN, and this concept is called trunk. So by using the trunk, we can just create one simple connection between the multiple devices and allow all VLAN to carry in between them. So when you call trunk for this kind of connection which carry all the VLAN, what you call for the interfaces which has only one VLAN, that is called access port. So these ports are called access port and the interconnected connections are called trunk. Now let's understand what is the access port and what is the trunk port. Now let's see what is an access port. An access port belongs to only one VLAN. Think of it like your house. Your front door only lead you into your own home. It doesn't suddenly connect your neighbor's house. So that means if you use your front door of your house, you will enter into your house only. You cannot go to your neighbor house. This is exactly how an access port works. It belongs to only one VLAN. For example, the port number 1, it belongs to VLAN 10. And when a computer sends the data to the switch, the PC has absolutely no idea what is that VLAN is. It simply sends that as a normal Ethernet frame. The switch receives the frame and internally places into the VLAN 10 because that port is configured as an access port. Before sending the frame back to the PC, the switch removes all VLAN configuration. So the PC always sees as a normal Ethernet traffic. This is why end devices never need to understand VLAN tagging. Example of devices connected to the access port include desktop computer, laptop, printers, IP phone, security camera, or most of the end user devices use access port. Because when you configure an interface as an access port, you don't want to tag any VLAN to that thing because there will be only one VLAN. Whatever the end user devices send the traffic to that interface, it will consider under that VLAN only. So there is no VLAN tagging. VLAN tagging is used in the place where multiple VLANs carry, in trunk port, that we will talk about later. So this is how the access ports are working. Now let's see what is a trunk port. The trunk port is used to carry multiple VLAN through a single connection. As we discussed earlier, trunk port is used to connect the networking devices and it helps to carry multiple VLAN from one device to another. So if you see the example, we have two switches. Each switch has the same VLAN from the same department. So if we want to make them to communicate together, normally we need to connect separate cable for each VLAN. For example, one cable for VLAN 10, another cable for VLAN 20 and another cable for VLAN 30. That is expensive and inefficient. And instead, Cisco created the trunk port so that a single trunk port carries traffic for multiple VLANs over one cable. So the same cable, it carry VLAN 10, VLAN 20 and VLAN 30 together from one switch to another switch. So in this situation, how the switch understand which traffic is going to which VLAN? The answer is by using the VLAN tagging. By using the VLAN tagging process, each traffic is tagged with specific VLAN. What is the source VLAN and what is the destination VLAN? So switch can easily understand the incoming traffic is going to which VLAN and it can send that traffic to that VLAN accordingly. The trunk connection is like a highway. Cars from many different cities travel on the same highway, but each car has a destination sign. Similarly, every Ethernet frame on a trunk carries a VLAN ID. This VLAN ID tells the receiving switch exactly which VLAN the frame belongs to. So that means one cable, multiple VLANs, much simpler. This is the concept of trunk port. Now let's see what is the VLAN tagging. It is the most important concept in VLAN. The VLAN tagging is the process of adding a unique 4-byte identifier which is called a VLAN ID to the data packet or the Ethernet frame. So have you ever think how does receiving switch know which VLAN a frame belongs to? The answer is by using the VLAN tagging. Cisco switches uses the IEEE 802.1q standard. It is an industry standard for VLAN tagging on Ethernet network. It allows multiple VLANs to travel over single network link, which is also known as a trunk link. So without IEEE 802.1q, a switch would not know which VLAN a frame belongs to when multiple VLANs share the same cable. So whenever traffic leaves a trunk port, the switch insert a small VLAN tag into the Ethernet frame, and that tag contains the VLAN number. For example, here we have in switch number 1, VLAN 10, VLAN 20 and VLAN 30. In the same way, here in switch number 2 also VLAN 10, VLAN 20 and VLAN 30. Just imagine the PC1 is sending a traffic to the PC6. So first the PC1 send the traffic to the interface number 1, which is in VLAN 10, and if this traffic know the destination is to PC6. So the switch check that destination, it will learn from its neighbor switch and it need to forward that traffic into the PC6. So it is forwarding that traffic to PC6 using the trunk port. And it is not just simply forwarding that traffic. In that traffic, the switch will add a 4-byte identification number, which is called VLAN ID, into the data. So it will use that tag plus data. This is how the switch send the traffic to the next switch. So when the receiver switch receive this data, it will look into the data and also it will look that data is tagged into which VLAN ID. So it will understand this data is tagged into VLAN ID 10. So it will forward that traffic to or to that specific interface that the destination device is connected, which is also in VLAN 10. So in this way, switch send the traffic along with the VLAN tagging. So when the next switch receives these frames, it simply reads the VLAN tag and places each frame into the correct VLAN. And this helps the other switches to understand from where this data is coming and to which VLAN it should go. So without VLAN tagging, the receiving switch would never know where the traffic belongs. So this is the concept of VLAN tagging. Now let's do a comparison between the access and trunk port. Left side you can see the access port specification and at right side you can see the trunk port specification. So the point number 1, access port carries only one VLAN, but the trunk port carries multiple VLAN. And point number 2, access port used for end user devices like PCs, printer, laptop, CCTV camera, etc. But the trunk port they use between networking devices like switches, routers and firewalls. Point number 3, in access port the frames are untagged. On the other hand, in trunk port frames are tagged using IEEE 802.1q. Point number 4, the access port configuration are very simple. On the other hand, the trunk port use advanced configuration. So these are the main comparison between the access port and trunk port. So simply saying access means equal to one VLAN, trunk equal to many VLAN. This is the concept. So in this chapter, we were talking about what is access port, what is trunk port, what is the VLAN tagging and what are the comparison between the access port and trunk port. Thank you very much for watching and subscribe to the channel. Enhance your skills using iRash Academy. I will see you in the next video.